Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, I haven't done this in a little while, but let's go back and do like a Q&A or respond to the comments down below underneath the videos. I put a video out saying that I felt at best it's going to be about 2 years, and that's at the best case scenario. 2 years before we see a change in the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar. And I have many reasons to believe that. But as usual, whenever you talk about the Iraqi dinar, and it doesn't line up with all those other people out there talking about the dinar, blowing smoke up your ass, claiming that it's going to be next month, next week, the dates, the rates, they got the magic codes, they got the magic wand that pull out their ass and sprinkle you with unicorn pixie dust, and then all of a sudden the money rate changes. There's no numbers on the back screen, there's no 800 numbers, there's no redemption centers. I keep telling you guys it's just all crap that blow up your butt. They make it up. There's no tier 1, there's no tier 2. All they simply do is change the rate. And then you go down and exchange it or purchase it. Either way, like any other currency out there, there's no magical treatment for how Iraqi dinar is being handled. There's no military that's going to handle it. The only time you ever see the military get involved with the exchange of a currency happened in 2003 in Iraq, when they exchanged the old currency for the new currency, and it was necessary for the military to be there because at the time Iraq was not stable and didn't have the means to protect the money. That's a little different. The country is much, much further along today than it was in 2003. But as far as exchange and currency is concerned, the military don't need to be involved. Not at all. So all that stuff out there you're hearing from other people, they've been lying to you for the longest time, blowing smoke up your ass. You can literally call your local bank or get a hold of any bank that handles exchanging of currency. Different banks buy and sell currency. When people are going to travel, they need to swap out their currency. They can answer any questions. Don't bring up the Iraqi dinar. They'll just say they don't do any buying or selling of the Iraqi dinar, but just talk about how it works in general. Just say, hey, if I want to go to Afghanistan, what do I do? They'll tell you, well, we'll find out what the exchange rate is. You come in, you buy X amount of dollars of it, you give us the US dollar, we'll give you the foreign currency. And when you get back, you exchange it back the other way. There's no magical handling of the currency. Iraq is no different. I've been hearing that crap for the longest time. Redemption centers. There's no redemption centers. You have exchange centers. If you go to international airports, you will see a lot of times they have there where you can go in and buy and sell foreign currency there. You can exchange it. There are some malls out there that actually have a currency exchange store there. But there's no magical redemption centers, you guys. There's no 800 numbers. The only 800 number that you should be calling is to an actual exchange. If you have any questions, or to an actual bank. No, you're not going to get a special rate. Yeah, I heard that too. Those people out there claiming that you're going to go in together as a team and you're going to negotiate a better deal. No, you're not. It's not going to happen. Whatever rate is out there is for the globe. That's for everybody. I know people don't always like what I talk about. This is the grounded YouTube channel. This isn't to blow the smoke up your butt. All right? That's why I talk about a lot of other things that other YouTubers don't. I try to bring education to this channel so that you guys can get an idea of what it is you're really looking for. And so you stop paying, what is this, 5, 10, 15 bucks over there? For them to just lie to you? If you guys want that, I'll create a whole website and just lie to you all day long. And you guys can pay me money to tell you stories. I can tell stories better than those guys ever can, if that's what you prefer. So anyways, let's get into the Q&A section. Before we get started though, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold or silver, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free ½ ounce of silver. All right, so I released this video the other day just saying that it was 2 years away at best, and that's at best. And the reason for that is this. They have everything Iraq needs to really flourish. They just can't stop getting in their own way. We know they don't have a stable economy. Too much of the economy relies on oil sales. That's not good. We know they don't have a stable government. They can't even get a government formed. There's talk of civil war. Foreign investors are curious about who's going to be running the government and what type of government is going to be established before they start investing into the country. All of these things are taken in consideration before an exchange rate can be considered. All those people out there lying to you saying, oh, look, because they make so much money off the oil, therefore the rate's going to change. They're full of it. Because it isn't just the sales of oil. There's many other factors. And I've made videos showing you what those factors are many a times. You didn't have to take my word for it. I showed you professionals talking about it. Look, again, I have no problem. I'll create a whole other YouTube channel where I can just lie to you all day, tell you fake stories about how, I was over there and I have a military buddy and I won't tell you his name and we have a secret decoder ring on and we see numbers on the backs of screens and I can just do this. I can do a lot better than they can, that's for sure. And then charge you for it and just lie to you all day long. I can say something like, oh, my special decoder wearing ring military intelligence guy told me that the exchange rate, that the RV is going to happen real soon on the day that ends with a Y. Yeah, that's right, the day that ends with a Y. Or it's the month that has 28 days in it. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be the month that has 28 days in it. Yeah, that'll help. Let's get going. And now his channel has been bought too. We all saw it coming. The Lord said that even gold and silver would be thrown in the streets and become worthless. And whose channel got bought? Whose channel are you talking about? Somebody sold their channel? Is that a thing? I mean, I heard about it, but is that a thing where people sold their channel? I guess. We all saw it coming. Y'all saw what coming? Somebody sold their channel? Huh. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. The Lord said, well, I talked to the Lord. He didn't say anything about gold and silver being thrown to the streets. Stefan says, I got into the dinar in July of 2005. Yeah, that's a long wait, Stefan. Back then, there was no social media or YouTube that I knew of advertising it. Someone I knew told me about it. I heard it was going to happen fast in maybe a year or two like Kuwait. So I purchased what amount I have. And next month will be the 17th year of waiting. I think 2 to 4 years from now, if they wait, their country will be called Iran instead of Iraq, and they will be in the kitchen making Iranian leader sandwiches. That's a fear, but we know that Iran has been really meddling in the affairs of Iraq in many different ways. They have a hold on their politicians over there. And we know that Iran wants to turn Iraq into an Islamic state, just like Iran is. But I think you're seeing more people resist that than there is those who support it. And this is why you're seeing so many of the Iranian-backed politicians be pushed out of office for that sake. Unless Iran has major help from somebody like China or Russia or even the United States for whatever reason, I don't see that happening. If anything, the people most likely see them rise up against Iran. That's more likely to happen than Iraq becoming an Islamic state. But since 2005, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. These people have been hearing stories about the back screens and the special codes and for so long, it's not even funny. That's why I show you what it is that we should be looking for, and that's why I read about the news. Craig over here says 2 years to stabilize Iraq's economy. How the hell do you suppose Iraq's economy is stabilized without a rate change? Any other way that it does without a rate change? What are you talking about? You obviously know nothing about finance, okay? Yeah, well, go back to the person that's blowing pixie dust up your butthole and you can listen to them. I tell you what, Craig, why don't you do me a favor then and explain to me, using your knowledge in finance, how it is that you think it's not going to take 2 years. I'm saying 2 years minimum, and that's just because the government has to be formed and stabilized. The projects to create the private sector have to be started, and it's going to take a couple of years for them to even be established. So that's in the best case scenario. Info Seeker, here you go. Hey, Pimpy, seems you left out a very important point, And what the article was saying, the sentence you read, the value of the foreign reserves is close to covering the value of the Iraqi currency. That clearly states the true rates can be estimated by dividing the foreign reserves by the money supply, as I said before. Yeah, I remember we talked about this, but I think if anything, what the having those types of reserve is meant to keep your currency stabilized, keep any kind of attacks from happening against speculators. You seen what happened to George Soros and what he did. What do you got? 69 billion in reserves and 100 trillion in circulation. All right, so here we go. I think that's about right. So you have 69 billion in reserves, 100 trillion. Yeah, that is close to the rate. So holding that much in reserve actually is a major protection against manipulation by speculators, is what the reserves does. But I see what you're saying there, but let's use the real numbers. So what are they talking about? 90? I think it is 90 billion. And divided by the MO report, which is the number, what's it, trillion? That's trillion. Yeah, close. 3068. 3078. That's a 14% loss in value, though. If you look at the current money supply, you can see right here, it is 114,404 trillion dinars in circulation divided by the potential foreign reserve of 90, and it gives you a rate of 0.00078. So they're almost there, but right now they're about 14% down in order to cover their entire money supply. But again, the foreign reserves, it's there just to keep from speculative attacks. I mean, it's nice to have, and you definitely want it because it makes your currency more secure. The more secure your currency is, then the stronger it is, of course. That's why a lot of banks hold reserves. Info seeker as usual, but this is your background, you know this. So the reserves are definitely almost there as far as protecting their own currency, which is necessary. I've done videos explaining to people why they need to hold foreign reserves. Obviously, I need to do it again so they can understand. A lot of people don't get what you know already, so it makes it kind of tough. But yeah, definitely the reserves are there, and the rate is right around where they are currently. So I know where you're going with that. You can see that the United States, they own, hundreds of trillions of dollars in reserves. Again, it's just to really protect their own currencies from speculative attacks. Hi, Pimpy. Have blood work done. Have them look at the vitamins. So you can actually, I just found out I was vitamin D deficiency. That's because I don't go out as much as I'm supposed to. I'm a more nocturnal kind of person. So my doctor's like, get your butt out there in the sun. So I do have a deficiency in vitamin D's, my friends. So thank you for the suggestion, but I did have it done recently. So what it says, all the best from occupied Germany. So you're out there, Germany, Oliver? Germany is one of the places I always wanted to go to, but I absolutely feel hesitant with the whole world being so wackadoodle right now. Seriously. Oh, it looks like M Seeker of Truth is over here going after Charlie Ward again. I'm definitely going to have to catch that after this video. For those of you who have not been to M Seeker of Truth's channel, I highly recommend you go there because he exposes all those YouTubers out there that are lying to you, and he has proof. M has even had family members come on and talk about these grifters out there. I love his channel. It does a great job of exposing people. I'm going through the same thing, tired and fatigue all the time. So here's John. What I've been doing is because little by little it's getting better. So I was with a girl and she was positive for coronavirus. Of course, at the time I didn't know that, nor did she. So after a couple of days, she wasn't feeling well. She went and got tested and found out that she was positive for coronavirus. I did not have any of the symptoms or sickness right away. It took a couple of days, and then all of a sudden it just kicked in. And it was bad for like about 2-3 days. The one thing I couldn't really deal with was the headaches. The headaches were terrible. They were worse than any migraine I've ever had in my life. They were just almost unbearable. I had the fevers and the whole 9 yards. I went through everything. And then after a while, I was fine, except for the fatigue was terrible. It really just zapped my muscles. It just felt like I couldn't travel very far without getting winded. Just going as far as from my bed to the bathroom. was hard, and the fatigue would settle up through my arms and into my shoulders really bad, and into my neck. It felt like I couldn't even hold my head up. As soon as I went to the bathroom, I'd stumble right over to the bed, lay down, and my body was happy that I was laying down because I didn't want to have to use any real muscles. So little by little, I've been forcing myself outside and getting better. So I get out there and I walk around with the dogs. So it's not as bad. I just find the only difference now is normally I'm insomnia, so I'll sleep 3 hours or 4 hours. Except for now, my sleeping patterns are I'll sleep about 5 hours, 6 hours. I'll wake up for about an hour, fall back asleep for another 3 hours, which I can't stand. But it's definitely getting better. It's going away. And the best that I could tell, it's that version of coronavirus, the long haul coronavirus or whatever the hell it's called. Hey, Pimpy, chronic fatigue syndrome is real. Or Epstein-Barr is also in the same vein. Yeah, chronic fatigue syndrome, I am aware of. I had a friend that had it, and it was terrible to see. It's not chronic fatigue syndrome. It's getting a lot better compared to where it was even like a couple of days ago. It's just crazy. You're suffering from the chemtrail concoction. Yeah, I mean, I joked about it. I said that, man, it's the damn crap they're spraying in the air. If you have a filtration system from your house to bring in fresh air, actually I do. And not only that, for a water supply as well. We need a heavy dose of vitamin RV. That would definitely pep up a lot of people, that's for sure. Repent, Pimpy, repent. Every day. Terry says, Lord Jesus, I pray for the healing for Pimpy. Lord, send refreshing to healing in Jesus' glorious mighty name. Call on Jesus, Pimpy, with all your heart. Jesus will hear you when you search with all your heart. Amen. Terry, I absolutely, positively love you for that. Thank you so much for the prayer. Thank you for your thoughts. I really do appreciate it. I talk to God every day. Trust me when I say that. So I absolutely understand a lot of times that the sicknesses that we are experiencing are not real. But there are some times when it absolutely hits your body a certain way that as much as I try to override it mentally, it's just beating me. And that's just one of these ones right now. Now, right around the corner, the best middle of this summer. Cap thinks that the RV is going to happen then. Most of the time, though, you notice they don't put why. Cap, if you're going to put that on there, put why. Please say why you believe that. I'm curious what people think. Sounds like mono. You know what, Jay? I just joked about that as well, too. I was sitting around going, gosh damn it, I think I got mono. Because I remember a friend of mine catching mono when we were in school. He was out of school for like 6 months dealing with mono. So that's the first thing that crossed my mind. Great, I got mono. Just joked about it, but yeah, mono, that's for sure. I had my blood work done. Yeah, definitely. I'm a vitamin buff. I take a lot of different vitamins, D, B, and C for sure. There's no doubt about it. Did the RV happen? Listen to you years ago. Why? Did I say the RV happened 2 years ago? I don't think so. I never said the RV happened. Not at all. And even if I went back 2 years, I'm not exactly sure what it is that you're pointing at. Why don't you be specific? I like how you put these comments in here. But tell me right here because you said this. In my quest to learn as much as possible about the Iraqi Dinar, my views change the more educated I become and the more I do my research. My opinions will change from time to time, depending on the information that I have. Says, bro, I hate to say it, but I wouldn't even report on Iraq, wasting your time doing research for what? If I get a certain amount of subscribers, YouTube pays me. Well, really, this one is a RAP. 10 years wasted unless you decide to talk about the ISX. I wouldn't talk about the IQD. You had a channel for 10 years? 10 years is a long time. Congrats on that. There's longevity there. Pimpy's just milking whatever he can save and keep his ratings. YouTube income up. Ratings? Do we have ratings? I don't think we have ratings. I mean, there's outside organizations, I think, that actually rate YouTube channels. I mean, I'm aware that there's organizations that rate us, but I'm not sure what the rating has to do with anything. So save, I don't have to save and keep anything. My channel is what it is, and it's been there. It's all organic, that's for sure. Party Pete, you sound like you have symptoms of diabetes. My dad had it, and I thought I would go check out. That has to do more with my drinking and where the sugar comes from. Speaking as a diabetic myself for the last 30 years, and some of the symptoms you're describing Yet the doctors will also tell you that it's bad infection can trigger it. I hope this is not the case or a perfect storm. Go to Walmart and get yourself a $14 blood check machine and monitor your blood about 5 times a day. Party Pete, actually, that sounds like a good idea. My doctor keeps telling me I'm borderline. I never crossed this so-called borderline. I know it runs in my family. The only bad habit I have is just I drink wine regularly. That's all my doctor keeps saying. Stop drinking. It's called allergies. I never had allergies in my life, but I'm not saying it's not possible. Sounds like full-on depression to me, bro. For me, I don't know. I never had a reason to be depressed about anything, and I understand it has one is not the same as the other. I get that, but depression, nah, I just tired. But now that's starting to fade away, and little by little, I'm staying up more and more. Chris says, makes me wonder if Saddam Hussein was still around, would there be bickering back and forth with the revaluation of the dinar? Chris, here's the thing that people don't understand. The one thing about Saddam Hussein, like him or hate him or whatever, he kept the entire Middle East in check. It would be nothing like it is today. I mean, look what's going on in Yemen, Lebanon, and all those different places. The one thing about Saddam Hussein, once we removed him, the Middle East definitely became a hot mess out there. But yeah, Saddam Hussein definitely kept the Middle East in check. There's no doubt about it. I've heard this may have been can-kicked to the year 2026 at best. Yeah, I'm not sure. What I'm stating is just my opinion because I know a lot more of the private sector has to be built. They're still relying too much on oil sales, and the fact that they haven't formed a government and have not passed a budget is reducing the potential for revenue from the private sectors. There's all these projects sitting there waiting to be funded and have not been funded. So it's just sitting there until that part is funded and they can start moving. They have to rely on oil sales. If tomorrow oil sales drops from over $100 per barrel down to God knows what ridiculous amount, $20, $30, that puts Iraq right back in the same position of on the brink of bankruptcy, despite all the extra revenue they have, because they would shoot through that extra revenue quickly. Sorry to hear about the Rona. I guess the sulfur crystals didn't help. Get well soon. Actually, that's funny you should mention that because I gave away the only sulfur crystals that I had. Yes, I was bragging about it to a friend of mine, and she asked if she can have my last bag, and I kept telling myself I'm going to go ahead and order some, and I did not. So I had not yet replaced my sulfur crystals. If I had them, most likely I would not have caught the Rona. You guys got to do your own research. The raw sulfur crystals absolutely positively protect you from the Rona. And this is what I get for giving away my sulfur crystals, unfortunately. Try taking vitamin D3, 10,000 a day. Well, if I took 10,000 D3 a day, I would imagine I'm dying unless you're talking about the IUs. For me, when it comes to vitamin D, I take 50,000 IUs a day. You can only do it for like a week at a time because it's not healthy for you. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Do a good detox, then vitamins. Eat nothing processed. Sleep is good, healing. Try Excedrin for headaches. Excedrin don't work. As a matter of fact, I tried just about everything for those headaches. I don't have them anymore, but when I did have them, they were really unbearable. Feel better? Good blood works. RV will cure everything. Yes, it would. I'd be up tomorrow probably. I appreciate that. Pimpy, which video is it? I like to watch it. The one about fatigue and corona variant. So the fatigue I was talking about was just an article about Dave Navarro. Dave Navarro reveals he's been suffering from long COVID since December. And what he was saying is that he caught the coronavirus back in December. And for the most part, he's got over most of the symptoms, but has some lingering ones, and fatigue was one of them. But if you look up right here, you can see it's called long COVID or post-COVID conditions. So I'll be happy to put this down below so you can read about it. Some of the symptoms that people are dealing with, you can see right here, the general symptoms, tiredness or fatigue that interferes with daily life. Symptoms that got worse after physical or mental effort. Fevers, those come and go. You'll get them every now and then. All of a sudden, for no reason, I'll just pick up a fever and then it goes away. It doesn't last very long, but it comes and goes. Respiratory or heart symptoms, difficulty breathing or shortness of breath. Yes, that's one of them. Cough, still lingering around right now. Chest pains, if I have a coughing bout, I will experience some chest pains. Fast beating or pounding hearts, those happen, palpitations. So these symptoms are real, and I've experienced them. You can see right here, difficulty thinking or concentrating. That's what I'm talking about when I'm trying to do videos. There's a reason why I haven't put out very many of them. It's really hard to stay focused or concentrate. You feel distracted all the time. It's just fatiguing. Headaches from hell, sleeping problems, yes. Dizziness when you stand up, yep. Pins and needles feeling, yep. Change in smell or taste, absolutely. Depression or anxiety, there you go. Fake roach, you said it sounds like full-on depression to me, bro. So depression is part of it. No issue with diarrhea, no stomach pains, joint and muscle pain, absolutely. No rashes, and no menstrual changes for me. I'll leave this link down below so you guys can check it out. So there you go, Honeybeard. I will put those down there. You can check them out. Pimpy, I have severe chronic fatigue for like 20 years. Contact me. I have some meds and products for you. Just reach on out there. Most of the time you can catch me on Facebook. Hit me up on a message and I will respond. Yeah, I've been zapped by 5G, Pimpy. Jeff, check this out. We do have a 5G tower that's next to us. It's been burnt down so many times, but now they have some type of weird fence around it, so we don't mess with it. But we do have a 5G tower over here. That's for sure. It took me at least a month to finally get my energy back. It's been about that long, Diana. I would say it's been about that long. But slowly but surely starting to come back around. It really does suck. And I pray and hope that people don't get it, but it's going to happen. I had the vid on November 2020. It takes 3 months to get my energy 100%. It felt like the flu I had back in 2011. Yeah, I went through all the flu symptoms, which is funny because I get sick I get real sick like once maybe every 5 years. I don't get sick that often at all. But when I do, good Lord, man, it hits me hard. So, but this time I got zapped pretty good. And it sucked. I couldn't stand the headaches for the most part. The fevers I could deal with, no big deal. The fatigue, though, just really sucks. It's hard to stay focused. It is, and it's exhausting. My friend here in Oregon had to call 911 back in November. Then he had to go upstairs to get his wallet before the ambulance got there and passed out at top of his stairs. Ended up 21 days in the hospital, and 10 of them were in a coma. Total of 46 days dragging his ass. Sounds like the same thing. Well, thank God I have not passed out into a coma. I have felt dizzy enough where it felt like I was going to pass out, but thank God it's not that severe. Oh, I pray for your friend. Hopefully everything is okay. Rashawn, I hope I'm saying that right. 2 years away at best, exactly. No time soon. I appreciate the support there. So look, it's not like I'm sitting around going, oh, what can I say to piss these people off the most? That's not what it is. If you've been listening to these videos that I do here on YouTube, then you know there are a lot of different factors that have to be taken into consideration before they change the rate of any of the currencies out there. I've done plenty of videos highlighting the things that we should be looking for whenever we're looking forward to a rate change. There's a list of them. Those things are not being met yet. The government nor the economy is stable. They depend too much on oil. They need to build the private sector, just to name a handful of things. Until those things are addressed, you're not going to have any change in the currency. Now, that doesn't mean as soon as Sauter gets control of the government and he forms it that he won't change it. He's already said in part of his campaign promise was to change the exchange rate. How he's going to do that, I have no idea, because he would have to seriously influence, if you get my drift, those who are in control of making the exchange rate happen. I'm not sure what type of power Sauter is going to have in order to force a rate change to happen, or if he can even do it. But it definitely was one of his campaign promises. But until he gets the government established and the budget passed, he's not going to be able to do that. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. Hit the thumbs up button if you're not a subscriber. Please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.